Hello and welcome to Monday Devotions, the 6th of July. First, the reading from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 9. While Jesus was speaking, up came one of the officials, who bowed down in front of him and said, "My daughter has just died, but come and lay your hand on her, and her life will be saved." Jesus rose, and with his disciples they followed him. Then from behind him came a woman who had suffered from a hemorrhage for 12 years, and she touched the fringe of his cloak. For she said to herself, "If I can but touch his cloak, I shall be well again." Jesus turned around and saw her and said to her, "Courage, my daughter, your faith has restored you to health." And from that moment the woman was well again. When Jesus reached the official's house, he saw the flute players and the crowd making a commotion. "Get out of here, the little girl is not dead, she's asleep." And they laughed at him. But when the people had been turned out, he went inside, took the little girl by the hand, and she stood up, and the news spread all around the countryside. You know, the example in these stories relate to Jesus, relate to having faith in Jesus. And it could serve as an exemplary model for our own faith and our own relationship between Jesus and ourselves. The official, he takes a leap of faith towards belief. He is content to plead for Jesus' intervention to bring back the life of his dead daughter, who doesn't even happen to be present. A request for long-distance healing, don't you think? Meanwhile, outside the premises lingers a group of bystanders who could only scoff even at the possibility of a miracle that Jesus could bring the little girl back from the dead. Can you imagine the surprise on their faces when this little girl stood up? And then, of course, then comes the woman that seems to represent a group of people way outside of Jesus' inner circle. Yet she is content to bypass him face to face as meeting him, and she takes it for granted that a totally positive response from Jesus will happen if she but just simply touches his garment or touches the cloak of the holy man, which she thought would bring about healing. You know, these two actions of faith can teach us much during this time, in this uncertainty of our world. But mainly it teaches us that despite all the troubles and anxieties and all the different sadnesses that we face, one thing is certain, that Jesus will and can bring healing. We need to meet him and arrive at the doorstep of faith. Let us pray. God, heal the world, fill empty hearts, feed the hungry, free lost souls, fight coronavirus, and forge us towards peace. And so once more, dear friends, I bid you God bless. Keep well and stay safe from the balcony.